Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the cozy games that I've been playing recently and let you guys know if I think you should play or pass. Now, just a reminder, these are my own opinions and I'm basing this off of like a bunch of things: price, fun, value. So today I have 10 games. Let me know if you've been playing any of these. Let's get to the first one. First up on the list is a game called Is This Seat Taken? Now, this was an indie game that was shown off in the Indie World presentation and was actually stealth dropped. So I kind of was like, you know what? I'll take a chance on this one. I'll pick it up. And I'm glad I did. So this game is an interesting puzzle game where you play in these different levels. So like one level will be a bus and another level will be a movie theater. And another level will be a restaurant, and you have to move each one of these characters based on their wants and needs. So, for example, if you're playing on the bus level, one character might say, hey, I want to be near a window seat, or I want to sit alone. Relatable. I want to sit near, another kid, or I want to sit near someone that's talking, like I want to be super social. And it's really challenging because, yeah, you can fit the needs of that one character, but you also have to take into account the other character's wants and needs. So it's a really cool concept. I don't think I've seen this concept before. And the difficulty is there too. Like, it's not too easy. And as you progress in the game, it gets more and more difficult. But a lot of puzzle games, I feel, once that difficulty ramps up too much, I kind of get discouraged and stop playing. For some reason, this game doesn't do that. Like, I'm super stubborn when it comes to this game. I want to figure out the solutions. So if you couldn't tell by now, $9.99 for this game. I would definitely say play if you're looking for a very chill but challenging puzzle game, especially on the Switch, because there's actually touch control support for the Switch. I would definitely pick this one up. This one's a good one, so definitely play. Next up, we have a game called Discounty, and this one has been making waves in the indie game community and the cozy game community. And this game, Discounty, is a very interesting one, and it blends a lot of the type of games that I actually like. So the main thing is here, you are taking over this supermarket in this very kind of sketchy town. And yeah, you take care of this supermarket. The gameplay loop is very nice in this game too, because you will slowly level up your supermarket. You'll unlock different products to sell, all while taking care of people in the town. So there's a lot of like side quests. There's a ton of story here. And I mean, not only does the game look amazing, I love this pixel art personally. I love the style of this game, but I do think that there is a lot of content here, and it blends a lot of my favorite things. Like, you have a life sim within a shop management sim. And it's a really interesting, juxtaposition here. So I love Discounty. It is $19.99, which I feel like is going to sway some people. Even though I think the price is justified, I could see some people maybe putting this on their wish list and waiting for this. I will also say, I haven't finished this game yet, but from what I did play, I really, really enjoyed this game. And another thing, a lot of people are kind of mixed on the ending of this game. So this game is it's a story. It plays out in chapters, and a lot of people are mixed on the story. So I don't know, maybe wait and see on this one. I'm going to personally say play, but just keep all of those factors in mind. Also, you can keep playing this game after the story. You can just keep playing with your supermarket. So very interesting. There's some decision making at the end. So yeah, let me know if you've played this game. I'll say play though. All right, this next game is an interesting one. Pokemon Friends. So this is available on Switch and I believe on iOS and Android. I think it's on the App Store as well. Now this is $9.99 on the Switch. However, there is a lot more content that they pretty much want you to buy, and I feel like the content that they want you to buy should have been in the base game. But anyway, let's go over what Pokemon Friends is. So it is basically a collection of mini games, but these mini games are very, very easy, like laughable easy. So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of them. If you're a Pokemon fan, it's really cool to see the different mini games with the different Pokemon. And the gameplay loop basically is you complete these puzzles. You get like a set of 3 puzzles and then you get yarn from those puzzles, and then you use that yarn to create Pokemon plushies. And the whole thing is to collect the plushies and then decorate your room with the plushies. You could decorate several rooms with the plushies. And if that wasn't addicting enough, there are also rare drops of the plushies. Now that all sounds good, but I will say this game is very easy. And I know that the puzzles level up. So like you'll start on level 1 of the puzzles and they are like laughably easy, but then you can like slowly level them up. And I do see them getting a little bit more difficult. Maybe if I play it more, it'll get more enjoyable, but I don't know here. I think I'm going to say skip on this one. If you want to try it out and you're like dying to try it out, I believe it is free on mobile devices. So if you just want to like kind of dip your toe in the water and see what it's all about, you could do that. But I don't know. I feel like the DLC here is almost mandatory to like keep you going in this game. And if you get all the DLC, I believe it's like $30 or $35. And at that price, I cannot recommend this. So I will say skip. It's just not what I wanted. And even though I did have fun, I haven't picked it up since. So there you go. Next up, we have the latest in the Story of Seasons franchise, Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. Now, this game is available on Switch and Switch 2, also available on PC and other consoles. I did actually play both the Switch and the Switch 2 version, and I won't say a lot about that. Basically, both versions are very good. I would recommend the Switch 2 version. But anyway, Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar is a remake of a DS game, Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar, and I have been having so much fun with this game. It is your standard Story of Seasons fare, so you will be doing things like farming and fishing and taking care of your animals and flirting and romancing with the people of the town. The big thing here, though, the gimmick of this game is that every Saturday in the game, you will host your own bazaar. So you'll basically set up your tent and sell the goods that you've been working on throughout the week, sell them to the people in the town and people visiting your town, and then, you know, kind of rinse and repeat, all while upgrading your tools and, again, romancing people in the town. I think this is one of the most addicting farming games that I've played in a while. Like, I feel like this one is super good, very polished, and again, runs great on both the Switch 1 and Switch 2. So on the Switch 2, it is $60. On the Switch, it is $50. There is an upgrade pack for the Switch to Switch 2. It's an additional $10 if you have the Switch 1 version. This one, I think, is a play. Even though it's kind of, you know, that premium price, I do think it is justified. There is a lot of gameplay here, and it's one of those games where as soon as you finish a day, you're like, you know what? Let's play another day. And that turns into 4 or 5 hours. And you're like, man, I should have been productive today. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar is a must play if you are a cozy game fan and a farming game fan. This game is really good. The next game is kind of a DLC in a way, and I'm talking about the Kirby and the Forgotten Land Star-Crossed World DLC Switch 2 upgrade pack. I mean, these names are ridiculous at this point. But yeah, this is a Switch 2 version of a Switch 1 game with a ton of added content. I will say that Nintendo did provide me a code for this, but I have some stuff to say. So, first of all, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, if you haven't played it on Switch 1, you have to. I think it is a fantastic game, and they have made so many improvements to the Switch 1 version, making it 60 frames per second, beautiful. This might be one of the most beautiful games on the Switch 2, and I do believe that the Star-Crossed World content is worth it. Like, if you already have the Switch 1 game, you can pay $20 to upgrade your game and get all of this new stuff. However, if you don't own any of this, they are charging $80 for the Switch 2 version with all of the content included. And at that price, I really can't recommend it. $80 is a lot of money if you want to wait for a sale, because even though Nintendo doesn't really discount their games, you can get this secondhand on like eBay or whatever. So I do recommend this game, but I can't recommend it based on the price. It is so expensive for what you're getting here. I will say that the Star-Crossed World does add in several brand new levels and some other content which I won't spoil, So even though I had fun with it, I can't, you know, I can't get the $80 out of my mind. So I will say skip. It hurts me. Maybe wait on this, but yeah, it's definitely pricey for what you're getting. Next up, I did play a smaller indie game that is not new by any means, but I just got around to playing it, and that is Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, one of the names of all time. This is a smaller indie title, and it's very reminiscent of the older sort of 2D Zelda games. You know, it's kind of like a top-down sort of game where you play as this really cute turnip boy, and you go around this, world solving puzzles. There are sort of mini dungeons. And again, it's very Zelda-like. Now, for me, I did get this game on very deep discount. I think I paid like just over $2 for this game. And at that price, I would recommend it. However, the base price of this game is $14.99. And I don't want to factor money into it too much, but I also have to be realistic and think of my viewers here. But yeah, I mean, this game was fun. I don't think the humor hit as much as they wanted it to. Like, I don't know, the humor is definitely going to be, some people are going to like it, some people are going to hate it. And, you know, like fourth wall breaking, some kind of like corny jokes or whatever. This game's also very short too. I completed it in 2.5 hours. There is post-game content too. So I do feel like there is a decent amount of content, but I would overall say skip. This one, it was fine, but I don't know. I feel like you can skip it and it won't change your life. So yeah, I would say skip for this one. If it is on deep discount, maybe pick it up if you are into these puzzle action adventure games. All right, the next game is another smaller indie title. This is PC only, I believe. I don't think it's available on consoles at least yet. And this game is called Spilled, and it is a very cheap game. So this is $5.99. You know, it's not going to break the bank. I actually think I got this one on sale too. It is worth noting that if you buy this game, a percentage of the sales are donated to preserve like whales and dolphins. So it's a feel-good purchase. I will say that, yeah, this game is fun. I played through it in an hour. So, you know, I can't really say there's a ton of gameplay here. But you basically play as a boat and you clean up oil spills that are in the water. And it is very satisfying to like 100% clean the map. And I did 100% this game and it only took me an hour. So it's a very kind of soothing game, but you're just not going to get a lot out of it. I would still say to play this one. I mean, if it looks like something that you'd be into, I would say to play this one. I think I got it again, like for a couple dollars, and some of that goes for a good cause. So I think just that alone, I would say play. I wouldn't care if you skip this one though. There's probably some other satisfying ASMR type games in there. But yeah, lots of good sounds. I remember the soundtrack being good too. It's not challenging by any means, but it's just a game that you can kind of play and chill and turn off your brain. So if you like those types of games, definitely play it. Pretty cheap, and it's for a good cause. All right, next up, we have a game called Tiny Bookshop. And this was another game that was stealth dropped for the Indie World presentation. And this one is very interesting and kind of surprised me a bit. So in this game, you basically have a tiny bookshop, as in the name, and it's like this tiny trailer, and you can customize this trailer, and you can fill it with all kinds of books in different genres. And basically you set up shop every day and customers will come to your bookstore and buy your books. And the whole premise is to make lots of money. There's a bunch of characters in this world that will ask you for different side quests. The coolest thing I think about this game is that you'll have points throughout your day as you're selling books where customers will need help asking for recommendations. And basically they will give you a prompt of what they like. And you use that prompt and kind of some context clues to recommend them a book. And the even cooler thing is that the books in this game are actually real books. So if you're a fan of reading and you like books, you can actually use that knowledge, like your IRL knowledge of books, to recommend books. I'm saying books a lot, but you can recommend books to these characters, and I thought that was cool. As someone who doesn't read a ton, I did struggle a little bit with this game, but I do think it is very polished and it is very fun. Another thing I like about this game is that there are different seasons, and with the seasons comes different decorations, and obviously the background changes and stuff like that. So I haven't played a ton of this one, so I'm kind of on the fence whether or not I want to recommend it or not. And especially, you know, again, someone who doesn't read a ton, I didn't have as much enjoyment as someone who does read a ton and can easily recommend books and things like that. I do think there are settings where you can turn some of that off, but I don't know. I didn't even want to do that because I think that's probably the most interesting part of this game. So it is $19.99. It is available on other platforms too. The Switch version played perfectly fine. So yeah, I'm kind of on the fence with this one. I would recommend it if this sounds like your type of game. But other than that, I would maybe say wait on this, maybe for a sale. It is $20 right now, which I think is justified. But if you can get it for like, I don't know, 30, 40% off of that, I think it's a much better buy. So yeah, let me know if you play this game and your kind of experience with this one. I'm definitely interested. All right, the next game is called Make Room. And I believe at the time of this recording, it is only available on PC. So in this game, this is my type of game, okay? So you have these little dioramas and you basically build rooms. You can build rooms, gardens, and camper vans. This game also has 1,000+ items that you can decorate with. And something that I haven't tried out yet, but it is in the game, you can actually make your own pieces of furniture. So there's kind of like a, not really a crafting thing, but you can customize your own pieces of furniture. This game is already getting plenty of updates too. It is $9.99, which I feel like is more than fair for this type of game. And there are a ton of these games, okay? I'm not gonna lie and say this is a brand new novel idea. There are a ton of these sort of diorama, build your own room type games, but I feel like this one does it very well. There's a lot of cool things that you can do with lighting and yeah, the different items, like you can be so creative with this one. There is also like a story mode that gives you like prompts. So, you know, you always have something to do and you feel like you are, you know, serving a purpose in this game. So anyway, Make Room is I think is a must buy if you're a cozy game fan and you like these designing type games. So definitely recommend this one. And then finally, I wanted to talk about Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, which is available on Switch, Switch 2, and I believe other platforms as well. I did get the Switch 2 version of this game, and this was actually the first third-party game I played on the Switch 2, and I will say that it performs very, very nicely. 60 frames per second, no crazy stutters or anything like that. And this is a spin-off game in the Rune Factory series, and I've been pretty mixed on Rune Factory. I really do like Rune Factory, especially 3 and 4, but then Rune Factory 5 wasn't great. And I was kind of, you know, on the fence of whether or not I wanted to give this game a try, but I'm glad I did. Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma is a story-heavy farm life sim, but it does, you know, as in Rune Factory games, it does have a lot of combat in it. So if you're not a fan of combat, and especially story, because there's so much story, this game might not be for you. Now, I will say, with all that being said, I really do like the characters. I do like the story. The story has me hooked, even though I haven't finished this game yet. The story has me hooked. I love the gameplay loop. There's a lot of automation, so you can have like the people in your town do a lot of the farming. There are different towns too, so you can have multiple farming plots. So there's a lot to do in this game. But all of that said, the price. I feel like this is a theme in this video. It is $60 on the Switch 1. It is $70 on the Switch 2. There's also an upgrade pack for Switch 1 players. I would say to wait on this one. This is a Marvelous game, and their games do go on sale quite often. So I think by holiday time, this game will probably be 50% off. I would definitely recommend this game, but I think for the price, I'm going to recommend waiting on this one. But this is a super good installment in this series, and I know it's a spin-off, but I would like to see more games in this style and play like this, because this game, super fun, but I can't ignore the price. All right, so there you go. Those are the 10 cozy games that I've been playing recently, and my picks, my skips. Let me know in the comment section if you agree with me. Do you disagree with me on any of these? Like, if you have a strong opinion, like, Pat, nah, you're wrong. Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe for some more cozy game content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.